My name is Matthew, and I'm 45 years old. These events took place a couple of years ago. Me and my wife, Bebe, were very happy because our only daughter, Stephanie, was doing great in high school. She wanted to become a scientist, and her grades were very promising, and we were hoping that she would get into a good university. Our daughter was always a little bit of a weird child, not to me or to her mother, but you know what I mean. Stephanie was the typical loner, immersed in her own world, reading, playing, video games, or even taking long walks. She liked nature quite a lot. Stephanie is an only child. Bebe used to be jealous because I was the only person that Stephanie really seemed to like. I don't want to sound arrogant, but I know now it is the truth. Our daughter enjoyed my company and was relatively affectionate and warm towards me, which didn't happen with other people, including her mother. Stephanie wasn't rude by any means, but rather cold and distant. She seemed to be bored and annoyed by anyone else, except me. One thing that Stephanie loved since her early years was Halloween, which was not surprising, since among her tastes were horror movies, ghosts and demon stories, and all sorts of mythology. Nothing unusual here. For some reason, intelligent people seem to be inclined to such areas. So 2 years ago, as I mentioned, although Stephanie was already 17 years old, she still wanted to go trick-or-treat. Me and my wife thought it was kind of awkward, but Stephanie is a brilliant mind, and sometimes it comes with some eccentricities. But my wife immediately became fond of the idea when Stephanie said,
"I want Mother to come with me. Just the two of us. I think we should develop our relationship."
Really, dear? Oh, of course. I'm so glad to hear you say those words. I'm sure we will have a lot of fun on Halloween night.
"I'm sure we will, Mother."
Stephanie replied in her numb and robotic voice tone, as usual. I was happy for both of them. Seeing my daughter wanting to bond with her mother was an excellent step forward when it came to our family life. Halloween night arrived. I stayed home, with the task of giving candy to the young people that came to the door. My daughter and my wife went to trick-or-treat as promised. Stephanie was dressed as a female devil, in red, wearing horns and makeup. As for Bebe, she went as a witch, wearing black, with a typical witch hat. It was already 3 a.m. when Stephanie arrived, alone. "Where is your mother, Stephanie?"
"I don't know, Dad. I just lost her."
"You lost her? How?"
"It was dark. There were many people on the street. I assumed she was home already."
Stephanie answered. I called the police and reported that my wife was missing. A few days later, I saw a TV report on the local news.
A woman had been found in the woods in the town. She is dead and dressed as a witch. Her face had been completely disfigured by some kind of acid.
They were unprofessional enough to show the image on video. I identified the body as being the one of my wife. I threw up when I saw what was left of her face, lacerated and melted. Again, I contacted the police, completely hysterical. I told them I had identified my wife on the gruesome news report. The answer that I got from them only made things even more disturbing.
"Yes. We were actually going to send an officer to your home. I'm afraid we have bad news. We arrested your daughter. She seems to be the one who killed your wife. Please come to the nearest police station."
I couldn't believe those words. I went to the police station as fast as I could. It was true. My daughter Stephanie had no idea that she was being filmed by a civilian. Stephanie convinced her mother to go with her into the woods, claiming that she had a surprise waiting there. And indeed, she had. Stephanie, being an expert in chemistry, had prepared an acid solution, and she threw that acid into her mother's face, killing her own mother in such an agonizing manner. When I visited Stephanie in jail and asked my daughter why she did that, her answer was the most disturbing one.
"Because I'm in love with you, Dad. I always hated my mother for being your woman. I wanted to kill her and disfigure her. And I thought with her gone, in time, you would learn to love me in a romantic way."